Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about why your local strings doesn't sound very well. Why your local strings doesn't sound very well. And I will touch on 3 factors. I'll consider my first factor to be the type of keyboard you are using. The second factor to be the type of tone combinations we use, and then my third factor to be how we play the strings. So I'll begin with the first factor, the keyboard. Depending on the keyboard you are using, you can make changes to the cutoff, resonance, the release, and then the attack of the strings. Usually with this PSR that I'm using, when I set my strings, I use the knob assign and then try and then make changes to the release and then sometimes the resonance. When I make those changes, it has an effect on the sound that will come out. It has an effect on the sound that will be produced from the keyboard. There are some keyboards, usually the very old versions or the very old types, which do not give you the opportunity to make changes to the cutoff, the resonance, and then the release. Those keyboards just have the tones, so you can set the tone and that's it. The best you could get is an internal sustain button that when you press it, then it sustains. You cannot even control how you want to sustain your chords, and then the time you want to sustain it. Once you press it, whatever chord you press, it just keeps sustaining. So that could be one factor that affects the quality of strings we play, or why our strings doesn't sound very well. Now to our second factor, which is the kind of combinations we do. I've realized that most people usually like adding the flute to the strings, or 60 clean guitar, or they can add a synth lead or a synth pad to the strings. But let me try and do an illustration. Now I have strings, so let me go to dual and try and add a guitar as my dual tone. Now I have, let me look for 60. Yes, I have 60 clean. And I have my strings. So this is how it sounds. So in key C, assuming I'm playing this is with a 60 clean guitar that I have dualed. Now playing it like this, to me, the strings has lost its quality because the guitar is very dominant. So for me, I would suggest you reduce the tone of the 60 clean guitar or any dual tone that you are playing with the strings, and let the strings be very high with the dual tone just a little with the dual tone in the background, not so high, so the strings could be appreciated with the other tone, the guitar tone, also nicely in the background. So with this 60 clean, I will reduce the volume to 40. We still have the 60 clean guitar, but the sound is different. More often what we hear is having the 60 clean very high with the strings, and we have something like this. And when it happens like this, it's assumed that you are not even playing the strings. It's guitar that you are playing, and then the strings is just accompanying the guitar. But what you are playing is strings. Your main tone is strings. The guitar is rather accompanying the strings. So the strings should be very high for the guitar to have a platform in the background of the strings. The combination that we do does not help the quality of the sound produced as strings. So usually you hear people, or you hear ministers, singers saying, please give me the strings, please give me the strings, and then the person has the strings alright and has a guitar tone, and then the singer hears only the guitar, like, I cannot really hear the strings, but the person is actually playing very well, but the dominant tone is the guitar. So all the singer hears is some kind of guitar, like a lead guitar. Meanwhile, there's strings in the background, but very low. So that could also affect the quality of our strings. And also, it will be best if you play your strings with another warm tone, like a warm pad. And if you have another keyboard, then you can set your 60 clean guitar or your synth lead. Then you can be playing your strings on one keyboard, and then on the other keyboard you will be making those changes with your guitar, with your synth lead, so that the strings can have a platform for the worship to go on very well. Usually when the guitar sound is too much more than the strings, it even disrupts the whole ministration, with the singer turning and saying, please the strings, please the strings. It's not that the person is not playing the strings. The person is playing the strings, go out with a guitar tone or with a synth tone, and the synth tone happens to be even higher than the strings. So that's one thing we can all consider and then work on. And then thirdly, how we play the strings. Regardless of your keyboard, regardless of how you set your tone, how you play the strings too matters. You as the keyboardist, how you play the strings, and then your choice of chords also affects the quality of your strings. Now let's look at something here. I'm taking the door off, so I have only one tone. I have strings. Let's do it in the key of E flat. I'll do scenario A and scenario B, and I'll talk about both scenarios, and I think that will be all for this video. I'm doing scenario A now. When I'm done, I'll tell you I'm done. Then I'll continue with the next scenario B. When I'm done with the scenario B too, I'll let you that I'm done with the scenario B. Then I'll discuss both scenarios. So I'm beginning with scenario A. So this is scenario A. What I just played is scenario A. Now I'm going to scenario B. I'll play virtually the same thing, or yes, almost the same thing. But I just want us to observe something. And what I just played is scenario B. Now, looking at the two scenarios, you could clearly observe that with the first scenario, scenario A, I was moving very fast. Scenario B, with the same thing I played, I was moving very slow, or at a slower pace. So this is what I want to establish. The fact that you can play the strings does not necessarily mean that you should be playing it, let me say, carelessly, because I know that, okay, these are the chords. The keyboard, or what you are playing it for someone to sing in church, and it's a spiritual activity, so you should, as much as possible, try to connect with what the person is doing. You are not playing on your own as a form of entertainment. You are playing it in church to glorify God. So it will be better, or for it to sound very well, and then for you to be able to connect very well with the singer, it will be very good if you play your strings very slow. Very slow. Playing it fast does not have anything to do with how good you are. You could play only 3 chords or 4 chords throughout the whole worship ministration. Very slow, simple chords. You hold the chords very well, other than just displaying and then playing it very, very fast, and then even in the long run interrupting the flow of the singer. So this is another thing that affects the quality of our strings. Once the person who is playing begins to play the strings very fast, very, very fast, usually people who know how to play the strings are sometimes overconfident, because they've been hailed for being very good, in their various churches or localities. So once the person sits down, the person starts playing with some kind of speed. Then when it's even time for the singer to come in, the singer finds it difficult, because the keyboardist is going faster than how he or she wants to enter into the worship session. And if you play and then what you are playing does not go in line with what the singer is also bringing out, then the ministration hasn't been fruitful, if I should say. You should try and then maintain your speed when playing the strings. As the singer goes to this word or this part of the song, you move to this chord. As the singer goes to this part of the song, you move to this chord. You don't just start and then start displaying all the chords here and there, here and there, here and there. Now the singer starts on a very slow piece, yet the keyboardist is ahead of the singer with a whole lot of chords. Now the singer is forced to sing at the keyboardist's pace, and that disrupts the whole service. So please, when we are playing the strings, let's try and then slow down and play the strings. It's a worship ministration. The singer is there. The singer is not going anywhere. You are also there. Just try and connect with the singer and then play it chord by chord. No rush. Try and hold the chords. Hold the ministration. It will be better to play just this. It will be better to repeat this simple thing even 20 times than to just start and play something like not that what I played doesn't make sense or it's not spiritual or it doesn't fit into the context of what the singer is bringing out. Just that the way in which it was played, the same thing could be played very slowly. It's the same thing I played. I played one very fast and I played the other very slow. So please, let's kindly note the difference. How to manage our strings is very important, since we play it for church and then we play it for a spiritual exercise. That is not the time to display your skills. You have the chords. Yes, this is not a contemporary ministration that you have to be using your 736, your tritones, your augmented chords. This is not the kind of ministration that you have. You're having a simple worship ministration, local worship. So let's kindly do well, and then let's keep it very simple. Simplicity is very good, and then is unique too. The more you try to simplify everything in your own way, the better you sound. If you try to make your chords so complex in order to impress someone or to show other keyboardists that you are better than them, you may end up losing yourself, even to the simple things that you already know. So I spoke about 3 things. The first thing is the type of keyboard you are using. The second thing is the type of combinations that we do. And then the third thing is how we play it, especially how fast we play it with respect to how the singer too is singing. Your play should go with the singer. You shouldn't be faster than the singer. The singer shouldn't be faster than you as well. You should be on the same pace. As the singer goes, you will also be going chord by chord, progression by progression, and we just keep it simple like that. So I think that will be all for today. These are the things we have to look out for in order to improve the quality of our strings.